here at the Magnus Stair Proving Ground, where I am steady state limit handling the AMG 6x6. The secret to smoothing out the ride on this is to go faster. Lock the rear diff real quick, fly up this hill. Bunch of boulders, no problem for the 6x6. Oh, look at that, just goes right up. Unlock the front diff for my descent. It's a very easy vehicle to do incredibly extreme things with. That's my big takeaway. Push a button, two buttons, and you just go. And you go over anything. Like this, the 6x6. I think it's safe to say that G63 here doesn't have a prayer. I'm driving the Mercedes-Benz G63 AMG 6x6, which from here on out will be known only as the 6x6. I think it goes without saying, this thing is frickin' cool. First impressions. Well, if you've driven a G63, it's immediately familiar to you. Yeah, it's a little taller up, but you get in and you notice, looks big on the outside. It's a little cramped, but very comfortable on the inside. If you've driven like the AMG versions, then you've noticed the Designo leather, the steering wheel's the same, the center stack's the same. I still have got my 3 buttons for the locking differentials, and it just kind of feels like, your regular G-Wagon. Except it's totally not. And you start to notice a few different things. Like, for instance, there's no radar cruise control. In fact, there's no cruise control at all. They actually pulled the stock out. And then you start playing and you realize, wait a second, there's no backup camera. And you might laugh at that, except that this is a 19-foot long vehicle that's 7 feet wide and nearly 8 feet tall. Backup camera would be nice. So then you start to notice this stuff up here, and this is very different. I've got an auxiliary fuel tank, which I activate by hitting this switch here. Then you've also got this. I can turn on the compressor. It's going to get loud. But this lets me inflate and deflate the tires. And I can do the fronts by themselves or the 4 rears together. And it's really a huge compressor. It works very quickly. So you can go from 0 bar, in other words, no pressure whatsoever, up to 2 bar in 20 seconds. It's incredible. And now we got to go over the numbers, because they're crazy. Horsepower, 544. A regular G-Wagon can drive through about 1.5 feet of water. This can drive through over 3 feet. Instead of 3 locking differentials, this truck has 5. This doesn't drive like a truck. It's not super lurchy. It's quick to accelerate. This thing weighs over 9,000 pounds, yet it'll hit 60 miles an hour in less than 8 seconds. And that's where the money is in the axles. Speaking of money, I should tell you that as it sits, this truck costs 455,000 euros, or $625,000 US at the current exchange rate. What? Why do we have to drive this car? It's a head-to-head, right? I understand. Okay. Right. So. And now I'm back in the regular flavor G63, which I'm, obviously it's a very cool car still. Just like all the G-Wagons, you get some things like the locking and unlocking of the doors, which is one of the very coolest sounds. And in the regular G-Wagon, you get the sound of 5 rifle bolts instead of just 4 like you do in the 6x6. Aside from the superior sound of the door locks, other advantages to the regular G63 are this. It's faster. The 6x6 is limited to 160 kilometers an hour. This is more maneuverable. It's quicker. It stops shorter. It's probably better on gas if you care about those kind of things, and doesn't cost as much. But the biggest thing, the biggest problem I have with the regular G63 is that it doesn't fly.